welcome back, everybody. We are finally getting back to another race. It feels like it was another month, but a couple weeks, long couple weeks.
I'm stoked. I didn't think we'd be 3 months into the season and only have three races under our belt, soon to be a fourth. But I'm looking at my calendar. I've got F1 schedule linked to my calendar. Three races in the next month. I'm hyped. I'm ready to get back into the flow of things. Couple bangers. Really eager to see how Monaco goes. I think Canada might get a little bit spicy. So here we are.
I'm excited for Austria. Not gonna lie, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I do love Austria. Personal preference, but I like Austria.
You're just a Red Bull fanboy.
I truly am. It wasn't even intentional. I fell in love with Max right away, but I like the Red Bull ring. I like their liveries. I liked Horner for a while. He kind of fell off. I'm a Toto fan. Toto's my guy now.
Well, we're going to get to our Canadian predictions and whatnot, but there's a few kind of rumors and news and things that we want to kind of get into a little bit here. First one I wanted to talk about was our favorite driver, Ocon.
Huge fan.
There's some rumors flying around of him and Komatsu kind of being on I don't know, they're not getting along, right? Who knows? So there's rumors that he might not make it to the end of the season.
What do you think? You got a performance gap. You got the young gun. It's 70 points to 1. It kind of falls in line with how we've talked about Ocon. He's been around for a while. He's not a big performer. In my opinion, he's consistently under average. I don't think he's, we always F1, some of the best drivers in the world. If he goes to another series, I'm sure he's great. He underperforms, and I don't think he's going to make it to the end of the season. I think Behrman's showing they have a pretty good car in this reg set, and I think Ocon is dropping the ball, and they're missing out on points.
Yeah, well, this kind of gets into the next thing for me too, but I was kind of gung ho about hey, is this Lewis's last year? And we saw kind of some sparks of well, maybe he'll stick around. He's being kind of competitive at the beginning of the year. But he definitely took a step back in Miami with his damage. But he came out and he addressed it. And he said, hey, I'm quashing the rumors. I'm under contract 2027. I'm going to be here until the end of that. So the reason I bring that up was my theory was Lewis is out. Ollie goes to Ferrari and there's an empty seat. And so if that is happening and Ocon's on his way out, seems like they want to get one of their young drivers in that seat and get him prepped. So
I think that's a good idea because they know, even if Lewis is around for another year, they know where Behrman's going or wants to go. And I'm sure they've had conversations. Ocon.
There's no way Ollie stays at Haas, right?
No way. Unless they come out with the dream car all of a sudden and they're a top dog, which is not going to happen that quickly. And Ocon, he's been around for a while. He's not going to be around that much longer, regardless. I doubt it. So I have heard Tsunoda rumors coming over. That'd be interesting.
Tsunoda. Interesting. I haven't heard that. That would be kind of cool. Of course, Esteban comes out and he says, hey, this is all BS. It's all made up. How much of that is truth? How much of that is PR management? Time will tell.
Yeah, I would call it true, but there is a lot of rumors that circulate. So
yeah, I think the majority of F1 fans like this kind of drama and upheaval and change and mystery about who's going where and what's going to happen. So I feel like most people are kind of rooting for things to be shaken up, not necessarily rooting against Ocon and want him to be fired, but you know what I mean?
Silly season drama.
Mix things up, new thing. Yeah, silly season. Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of Tsunoda, what about this Honda bailout? Kind of a big deal.
It took me a minute to go where you're going. But Honda driver, Tsunoda, I got there. Yeah, seems like everybody in F1 got together and said, "Hey, we want Honda in the sport. We don't want them to be, floundering so bad that they just peace out and say, good luck, Aston. Find a new engine." Maybe they go back to Mercedes. That might be the smart move if I was Aston. But it seems like teams want them around, so they're going to bail them out, air quote, bail out. They're not getting cash. They're getting approval to have exception to the cost cap. So they're going to be able to spend a little bit more money and have some more dyno time to get their engine running right, which I think I can get behind. Obviously, the risk is if they give them too much time and too many resources, what happens if that Honda becomes dominant?
You get some angry teams then.
Yeah.
I can get behind it. The very competitive side of me is like, sucks to suck.
Agreed.
Y'all didn't do it right. The part of me that wants to see F1 stay competitive and have I'm very competitive. If I was, the best Mercedes years, the best Red Bull years, I don't give a shit about any other team. Like, hey, we're better. The fan of me wants a more rounded F1. Like, I'm cool having top 4 teams. I like a good fight in the middle, but I don't want the back of the field to be that far back. Like,
yeah,
it sucks knowing that. I mean, Cadillac's an expectation to suck, just straight up. But you don't want your back teams to not be able to, have that random race where they get a point. Like, that midfield should almost include the back. I think it just makes it more competitive and you get more fighting. So
yeah, there's definitely like tiers in my mind. Like, you have like the team / drivers that are going to be consistently fighting for that podium. And maybe one has the edge. They're going to, be fighting for the win almost every race. And then you kind of have the back half, and then everyone like P10 and back, ideally in my mind, should be scrapping. Like, we should
100%.
see teams that are finishing P20 a few races later be fighting to get into Q3.
Exactly.
That's ideal. That's what makes it exciting. But when you've got, a clear, like, hey, these bottom 4 guys are always going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be Cadillac, Aston, that's not what we want to see. We want to see.
No.
Kind of like, this is a terrible example because it was weather, but kind of like how you got the Brazil 2 years ago where it's the Alpines up top. You want to have that surprise in the midfield. Not saying weather and craziness. I'm just saying like that fighting you're talking about, like, Aston is fighting for P9 today.
I think about too when like the Mazepins got taken out of Haas and K-Mag got back in the seat. And then he like stuck at P6 in Australia to start the season. Like, every now and then you want those one-offs. Like, teams should be capable of doing those things.
Yeah.
There's no way that
Cars
Aston does that in its current form. And so I'm in favor of kind of moving them in that direction.
It's like a Hulkenberg podium.
Yeah.
That's what we want. The randomness of that. Still love that for that guy. But yeah, you get that driver's having the weekend of his life, cars dialed in. You got the midfield car, but everything's working. Maybe, you had a Mercedes spin out in quality or something. Something happened.
Just dumb luck or weather,
a little
or just
bit of
circumstances.
dumb luck, and everything else clicked.
Got to have it at a certain level in order to take advantage of those scenarios. I don't think Aston's there in their current form. So, well, as our resident Red Bull fanboy, I want you to lead us through this. What's going on with Max, man? Is this a number change a curse? Like, rough goings.
It is the Danny Rick curse, it feels like, ever since he left. I'm not a big curse person. It does feel like that. And having watched, the F1 season's been pretty rough with the number 3. And then you're outside. I got the whole list of junk right here. You got NLS2, disqualified. They won. Disqualified from tires. NLS 5, splitter damage, unfortunate. And then you have the Nürburgring. Max went from it was like P10. I watched all the overtakes.
I saw that clip. He got in the car in P10, and there was just clips of him making crazy moves.
And
dude almost flew over the jump, saved it.
Oh, dude, he avoided a crazy wreck. He almost hit the wall on was it the Green Monster? Is that what they call that section? I can't remember. Um,
There was one he came over a hill and kind of crested, and the front end lifted up, so he had no steering, and then he was like half on the grass and
that's what I'm
managed to
talking about.
stay out
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
guardrail. Yeah,
stayed out of
I
it.
think that
And
was
then
lap one.
I don't know if you've seen the clip, but there's it was his first lap out actually,
Yeah,
going too hard. There's a clip of him going by another driver, and he's doing the
that
do do
GT4
do
Porsche. Oh yeah,
Max
no, I've seen that one.
Verstappen,
That was
and
awesome. There's the other
that
clip of him battling some other GT3 car, and they both try to go around a slower class car. And the car in front of Max hits it. It's this, I think it's a Porsche Cayman. Hits him, and he goes into the wall, and Max just powers by both of them.
that's the crash I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I, I call it bad luck. I mean, the reg set change, you can see some bad luck in trying to figure out where the car's at. Didn't like it at first. Um, the
He seemed
GT
much
car,
happier in Miami.
he was much happier in Miami. Just the pit strategy didn't really work out. I mean, P5, not bad
I
based
don't
on
think
where
it's
the car was
anything
at.
to. Yeah.
Um, I think the GT stuff has been unlucky, but I think he's having fun, which I actually think might benefit Red Bull because he is getting to be himself, which I actually have another point before we get off of that with that. Um, I did just lose a train of thought. I mean, I'm not really a curse guy. I personally like the 33 better because that's his OG number. I don't really know why he changed. Maybe it's just, why not give three a chance? But
Well, I think he wanted number three, but Danny Rick was already number three when he
maybe
came
that's
to
what it
Red Bull,
was.
so he didn't get it. So this was his opportunity to do so.
True.
As a Danny Rick fan, I don't love it, but I think it's cool. The logo, the font is really cool. We talked about this in our
Yeah.
livery rankings, but that Red Bull font's dope. I also love all the memes where people were like conspiracy theory, like zooming in, and they're like, "Oh, it's a number one upside down," just to like spite
Yeah.
Lando.
I've never seen that in the beginning.
I guess
I lost the
from
point
your
there,
perspective, well, maybe my questioning will get you back to it. But is he having so much fun that you are concerned he's going to leave F1 to go do endurance racing, or is this still a
You
side
did bring
quest?
me back to my point. I think for now it's still side quest. I don't see him not finishing his contract. Personally, I think I mean, Max stays true to himself. He made a contract with Red Bull. I don't really see him breaking that unless they come out with a literal dumpster car somehow. I mean, they're decent. Um, the point that I forgot was I watched clips of, so like in Miami, Max was elbows out. He was flying through the field. Everyone's bitching the whole time. And then you go to GT racing where it's like it's fair game to race, like on
Mm-hmm.
off track. Like you could bump people, it's fair game. And they're having fun singing the Max song, like throwing elbows. Oh, I just got passed by Max. Like it's great to have him in the sport. He sells out the Nürburgring, or he sells it out, but we know why it's sold out. Um, you can see the difference in the sport, and I hate to say it, and I love F1. It kind of gives F1 like a bad taste. It's
Mm-hmm.
someone, it was a quote, I don't know who quoted it, but it's like you got F1 looking like bougie driving around billboards of these nice brands, and you got GT Race over here having a blast with arguably the best driver in the world, which I think he's proving that currently, hopping in anything and being faster than everybody. Um, I think maybe after his contract he's gone. I mean, he's welcome anywhere. I don't know what team in their right mind wouldn't accept him as a driver. Um, and as far as the F1 stuff and him maybe rumored to go to another team, David Coulthard actually had a really good quote in an interview. I don't know if it was yesterday, very recent, of Max isn't going to go to another team instead Red Bull because Red Bull is the only top team that's going to let him be himself. He has the leash to go do whatever he wants, and that's kind of the Red Bull way. You're not going to do that at Ferrari. Zach Brown's not going to let you do that. He doesn't even let his drivers race or pick a driver. Mercedes is definitely not going to do that. They
They put the
love you
kibosh
winning
on
them.
Kimmy doing it.
Oh yeah, quick. I mean, with that, he has 4 world championships, fair. Kimi's like brand new. But I mean, other than him driving the Mercedes, I don't see them letting him go do that. Like, there's a
Well,
lot of risks involved.
you bring a good point because I just saw an article today or a photo kind of rumor that Yost was meeting with Toto in the paddock. And so obviously anytime you see photos of a driver rep or particularly Yost meeting with someone else, like there's rumors associated with that. But you bring up a fantastic point. Like Max wants to do what he wants to do. And if he feels handcuffed, he's not going to put himself in that position.
Absolutely.
Back to the GT stuff. What's your take on this? Is this easy? Is the quality of driver lower in these series? I have my own opinions about that. Or is this purely just being Max being Max? Like, take another F1 driver, put him in a GT car. There's examples of this. Go. What do you think?
I think you got a combo. I think Max is a class above even most F1 drivers. The dude is a sim racing fanatic. He has his own team. He has sim racers going onto his real life racing team. So he knows what he's doing. And I think he has a lot more GT experience just in that set than a lot of F1 drivers. I think most F1 drivers are sim for F1. That's their life. I know he has like Bortoleto racing over a GT and stuff. I think the quality of racing in GT, driver-wise, is maybe a lower caliber, other than a couple top racers that he's up there dueling with. But I think to their credit, they haven't tailored their racing to F1. Two different styles of racing. But I do believe it is a lower, like, average of drivers.
I think lower average is fair. I think there's exceptions to the rules both ways. Like,
100%.
I see drivers in WEC and in IMSA and in driving in all these other series that are former F1 drivers. Like, you got K-Mag driving a Mercedes, or a BMW rather, hypercar. Jenson Button's driven for the Cadillac IMSA teams, I think, before. Nasser is driving IMSA. He's a former F1 driver. And so I think F1 drivers have the ability to transition, but I think there is a learning curve. And the most recent example of this is Lance Stroll, right? Lance drove in a GT car recently and did awful, right?
Oh, he had so many penalties. It's ridiculous.
It did awful. But I don't know, you take Lando or you take George or you take Fernando and you stick him in a GT car, they might be able to be successful. Are they going to be as successful as Max has been in his first endeavors? Like, Max has nearly won these races 3 times in his first tries.
Two of them arguably, absolutely. Well, the tires, yes. And then the Nürburgring, he got
the 24-hour
before he got out of the car.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think
you hit the nail on the head. I think you take the top caliber drivers or experience, like Alonso would do fine. And I think they do well. I think when you come to the learning curve, you don't hear too many other people that like live and breathe racing like Max does. Like, he literally has stayed up playing a sim.
You brought me back to my point. It's work ethic, right?
Yeah,
like, I don't think anyone's gonna dispute that Max's work ethic is light years ahead of where Lance's work ethic is, right? And that shows when you take them out of the element they're familiar with and you put their skills to the test.
100%. I mean, the dude is F1 race, like GT race. I can't remember. I think it was Miami. The next day, he's doing like a GT supercar halfway across the world and breaking the track record with the dude that has it right there on lap 2.
Oh yeah, this was the Z in Japan. Yeah,
in the rain, crushed
by like multiple
record.
Seconds.
Oh no, he crushed it. It was like over 10 seconds. Like, he in front of the dude, and you have the dude basically applaud, hey, no one's broken my record in a long time. Like, this is crazy. And it's what it is. It's work ethic.
How inferior do you feel if you're that guy?
Oh,
like, I hold the lap and Mac just smashes
it's
it.
like that's, and I think that's where you go, like I said, you go into F1 and people are like, oh, Max is doing this, Max is doing this, like this is the midfield, this isn't how you race, whatever. You go to GT and people are like, dude, this guy's amazing, this guy's crazy. I get to share the track with him. Like it's a, like I said, I love F1, but it's almost like, hey, we're too good for everyone else. Like
We got some
F1
prima
driver,
donnas.
yeah, big time. I don't know. It's just cool to see the culture. If he left F1, I'd be super bummed. I think it'd be bad for the sport. I would
Agreed.
definitely watch a lot more GT racing, and that would definitely expand my racing watching in general.
Well, it already has me kind of interested in it, right? Like I
Yeah.
definitely kept tabs on the 24-hour race this weekend, and I'm definitely going to be watching more stuff. And I'm getting slowly sucked into like IMSA and other stuff, which is pretty cool.
Well, we've been
Um,
enjoying that kind of sim racing too more. Like I really love driving the GT
that's
cars.
fun.
I have a
That's
blast
fun.
driving GT cars. Let's move on. We can do
Um,
this forever.
yeah, exactly. I was trying to find a window. Um, Similar kind of lens. Let's play the hypothetical. Max leaves. There's a lot of rumors going around right now that Oscar is being positioned to have a Red Bull seat. Whether it's Max's
Um,
or Hadjar's, I don't know.
why am I spacing on his agent's name right now? Um,
Mark
Piastri's
Webber.
agent, Mark Webber, um, Red Bull driver
Mm-hmm.
under Horner. Um, has a big influence on Piastri's moves. Piastri, you could tell he was very frustrated last season. Um, Lando's definitely the chosen first driver, but they'll never actually say it.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that happening. I think Piastri going to Red Bull, I don't know how much competition you'd have that fast, if any. They seem, obviously, there's the cursed second seat. I don't know who's going to fill that. I think Piastri's,
Maybe he's the chosen one.
maybe he is. Maybe it just needs to be Max's seat that's open and the second seat still sucks. Um, I think Piastri's leagues ahead of their current other drivers. I mean, you look at the sister team, Lindblad's small sample size, shown glimpses, but I'm not hyped on him.
I think
Um,
it's more likely. I think Max stays. I think you and I are in a similar spot right now. Max stays. I think it's far more likely that Liam or Lindblad kind of like there's one that's clearly ahead of the other and that they lose their seat. And if Oscar's available, I could very easily see Red Bull demoting Hadjar back down to V carb like they've done with Liam and so many drivers before and putting Oscar in that seat.
I think that's a good point, especially. So let's say Hadjar has a rough year. Max sees out his contract to 28, and they see the opportunity for Piastri. Why would you not put him in that seat next to Max? If there's going to be
Yeah.
a challenge to see what he's bringing, that would be it. Especially if Weber comes in and is like, all right, you're giving them the exact same car.
Well, they haven't had a driver of that caliber in the second seat
No,
since
they.
Checo first came to the team. And, before Checo kind of fell off and had his confidence dwindled, he was winning races,
No, he's a
right?
great driver.
And he was pivotal in Max's Abu Dhabi 2021 race, holding Lewis off. Like,
God,
um, they haven't had
Mexican
that
Minister
in a
of
long time.
Defense, bro. Like, I like Checo. He had a really bad last season, but I do like Checo. I think he's a great
Yeah.
driver.
Yep.
Just like I think
Um,
Bottas has a very big influence on some of Lewis's races too. So
I want to see Bottas back in a quality car. I want to see if he's still got it because I don't think his showing at Kick and at Caddy is reflective
no,
of who he is. But
I'd love to see
here
him
we
and
are.
Paris get a little bit of shine. Be cool if Caddy brought like an okay car next year or something.
I really want him to just like all 22 drivers go on a track and everyone drives the exact same car with the exact same setup and we just get a like here's where everyone stacks up.
F1
I
in a
think we might
perfect
be
world.
surprised.
I 100%. I think the experience would show in a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, let's get into this week. We got
Yeah,
today's
100%.
Thursday. We got free practice one tomorrow. Um, we got a few no special liveries. Canada's not a big one for
No,
that.
always bummed when we don't have one, but
Yeah, yeah. But we do have some helmets, which is pretty cool. So Lando has a Race Against Dementia helmet, which I think is pretty cool. my grandpa had dementia, and so I really appreciate him kind of focusing on a challenge and bringing attention to it. And the design is
Awesome.
pretty dope.
Yeah.
It's like a brain scan.
Awesome
Um,
cause. The helmet is cool, but the reason behind it's even better. Always love stuff like that. Sweet. We should do more
yeah,
of it, to be honest. Should be way
agree.
more common.
I like that. The NFL used to have Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and now
Yeah.
they do Play for Cause or whatever they call it, and they do
Hmm.
special cleats and all that stuff. Like that stuff's awesome. There
Oh,
should be more
yeah.
of
My
that.
cause, my cleats. I
Yeah.
think that's what it
Yep.
is. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Well, the other side of the garage has a special lid too. Oscar has got a special helmet. It's kind of a silver blue wave design.
We're on
Um,
that one.
I'm a little, I'm twisted. I'm conflicted. From certain angles, particularly the front, I think it's really cool.
The
The
front's cool.
side
Yes.
angle, I'm not wild
And
about. It's a
the
little too simple. The
top of
top's
the
a little
lid
too
is
plain.
rough.
Um, but it's cool. We just did our helmet tier ranking. At some point, we're going to revisit that and add in the special helmets, and we'll see where this one stacks up. Um, Ollie must have watched our helmet tier video.
He's the one
'Cause he
person that
improved
watched that
his helmet.
video.
He improved his helmet. Ollie's got
Icy.
game. He's got game. This all white kind of glacier theme,
I think we need to
super
tag
clean.
him,
I love
actually.
it. I love it. Um,
It's a solid helmet. That should be his standard one. We've done this with liveries. We've done this with helmets.
I The only thing that makes me say it shouldn't be standard is because it's glacier themed, which I'm sure is one of his ways relating to Canada. But
Hear me out.
the
He
all
starts
white,
showing up with a big icy chain.
a Flava Flav chain.
Yeah. Yes. He can make it work.
Something tells me he can't.
Yeah,
That's
no, he wouldn't.
pretty
That
wild.
wouldn't work.
Only one guy can pull that off. And then the last one is Lance. It's his home GP, and for whatever reason, they've decided to celebrate that by bringing on this. I believe it's a Canadian produce wholesaler, and so there's cherries on the side. Like I don't know.
No,
I have a lot of
we did
questions
that-
about
we
what
did
we're
that
doing
wrong.
here.
We did that wrong. Trying to do the cherries hanging in the shape of the wing.
It should
The
be like a
execution's
maple
very
syrup
poor.
helmet or something Canadian, something real
Just put
Canadian.
a Canada A slapped on the side, even though that's so wrong because they don't even really say that in most areas of it.
I don't
Not
know, a mousse
good.
or maple syrup
So
or I don't know.
we're
But
good
yeah,
on
not about it.
those. Oscars is a 5 out of 10. Ollie's is great. Lance, I'm not even gonna grade it. It's just weird. I don't like it. It doesn't belong. It's alright.
Real.
His race is gonna be the same either way.
Yeah. Speaking of which, so as a sidebar, F126 or F125 2026 DLC got revealed the other day. In the trailer, they've got Lance spinning out and going off track.
They're keeping it accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping it accurate. Oh man.
Well, looking ahead to the weekend, we've got a few updates to the track. This track has traditionally had 2 DRS zones. They're going to add in a third place for straight mode this year. It's on the back half of the lap, tail into sector 2. So that'll be interesting. I think that makes that corner into the hairpin before the long straight even more of an overtaking zone. So hopefully that promotes
Because
good
that is
racing.
the straight before the hairpin, correct? Or is it?
Yeah, it's kind of a mini straight. You can get up to speed, but it's
Yeah,
that heavy
after-
braking zone
the
right at the end of the
chicane,
lap.
Straight hairpin.
Yep, and then you get
Yeah.
the big long straight with the chicane to end the lap.
That's where I
So,
always cook my brakes, trying to overtake people.
go deep.
Uh,
And we might see our first rain. We got an 80% chance. It's supposed to be cool. It's supposed to be damp. And so I think we might see some chaos, and hopefully we kind of see our first time with these cars in the rain.
and that we know it very well. That could cause some change-ups in positioning. What teams are up top? What teams end up in the back? Crashes. There's a few drivers that typically shine in the rain. One we already spoke about way too much, so I won't even say it. Kimi is known to be a good rain bracer. Once again, small sample size, but it's talked about, and we've seen it a little bit. So let's take the rain out of it for a second. Will it be as exciting as Miami?
Oh, I think that's the big question, right? Was Miami was seen as a really big success. We had changes to the regulations to make things a little bit more exciting. Canada's a different track, and a big thing with these cars is the super clipping and their ability to charge the battery and harvest. There are some heavy braking zones in Canada, um, so it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out. I think we can bet on qualifying being a banger. But these races,
Yes.
particularly in the rain, can kind of go one of two ways. It's either a snoozer or absolute
Or we're
chaos.
gonna get a Vegas
Um,
in the rain.
yeah, I don't know. So my my prediction is it will be at best as good as Miami. That might be a hot take.
I think if we get rain, it's gonna be a complete shit show. To be honest, I
Mhm.
think you're gonna have people overcooking it into some of the corners, and then with the batteries, overcooking it on the exits, just based on what we've seen. Um, I I hope it's as good as Miami, just excitement wise. That was one of the most fun races we've gotten to watch in a while. It's a relief, and I hope it's not a one off. Really don't.
Um, well, as we get into that, what's your podium prediction?
I've thought about this,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't think about it with the rain too much. But I'm still gonna go with my podium. I think it's gonna be George. Can't believe I'm saying that. Kimmy, Lando. Still can't believe I'm saying that. I want to say Piastri, but Lando's looked sharp.
We were so close. We were so
You're
close to
gonna
being
say
on the same
Kimmy, George,
page.
Lando.
No,
Oh,
George, Kimmy, Oscar.
see, I almost said Oscar. It's because I'm hanging out with you
I
too much.
I have invaded your mind. No, that's Lando's got a poor track record here. He had the crash there last year when he was fighting Oscar.
Yeah,
I think Oscar's going to come out swinging. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think Lando will be in the top five, but I think
I
Oscar
could agree with
has
that.
got a leg up on him this year.
That's where I got my George P1 is he obviously said he doesn't like Miami, um, but he does have a good track record at Canada. He does like Canada, so I think this is his opportunity to show that like, hey, I'm not out of this.
Yep.
Um, my hot take: Alonso gets a point or points.
That is a
Ex-
bold claim, sir.
Very bold, but we might have rain, and
Mm-hmm.
Alonso has a great track record around Canada.
They're completely
Hot,
different cars,
hot
but
take. Hot take.
yeah, yeah.
Extremely hot. Like you can't drink the coffee yet. Hot take.
Boiling lava
If you
is what
don't
I
want
call that.
your taste buds, take this
Molten
hot
metal
take.
take.
I had
Um,
to get a spicy one in there.
I don't know if that hits. You need to go buy a lotto ticket because I don't think that's happening. Um, any other predictions? You know, we've
Oh,
had
I
some
did have another
exciting
one.
things happen in Canada. We
With the
had the Lando
pressure,
crash. We had groundhog hitting. We got
hopefully no groundhogs die
yeah.
this weekend. If so, rest in peace. Go back in your hole. My other prediction was with the added pressure and trying to overcompensate, Ocon crashes.
Mm,
Like he just bends it.
yeah. I mean, we usually see what is that? Turn three and four. There's a little mini chicane before they get into some
On
turns.
to yes.
Um, I think this is we saw Leclerc go off, and we've seen a few people go off there in recent years.
So Leclerc
That
last
corner
year?
could get interesting. It might have been that he like narrowly escaped. I just remember him going off in that corner, and it was pretty sketchy. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
that
don't
was
know.
my other hot take. If you want to
I
call that a
think
hot take.
something. I think someone is going to crash, whether that's weather related or pressure and just driving. But I think there's another crash
I think
this
the
week as
pressure
well.
gets Ocon, and if that and Alonso hit, I'm definitely getting a lot of ticket, and their numbers are going to be involved in it.
Well, hopefully it's not Ollie that causes it because he's getting close on his penalty points.
He's the leader of penalty points currently.
Yeah, I think he's got 10. I think 12 is the point at which you get a race ban. So we might see that happen at some point this season. I don't know.
No, hopefully not this weekend. I like Behrman, but it's bound. Yeah. It's bound to happen.
Well, that's
all I got.
That's all I got. I think those are our thoughts about Canada. We're gonna be glued to the TV now that we're back in the swing at F1, and we'll be back at it after the race and share a recap video, get into all the shenanigans.
Hopefully after a banger and not a snoozer.
Yep.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.